comfort is killing you and your dating life. Comfort is killing you and your dating life. As with all of these episodes, the stuff that I'm going to talk about, largely we're going to base it around dating because that is the main subject of my content. But it also applies to lifestyle, right? It also applies to business. It also applies to success and wealth accumulation and all of these different things, okay? Comfort is killing you. What do I mean by that? Basically, what I mean by that is that you, and probably me, and I'm calling myself out here as much as anybody else, we are all addicted to comfort, all right? We're all absolutely enthralled, enslaved to comfort. Some people aren't, and if you're watching this and you're saying, no, I get up at 4 a.m. every day and I have 3 cold showers and then I do 4,000 pull-ups, great. Maybe you're not addicted to comfort, you're addicted to something else. But most people on the planet are addicted to comfort, okay? And comfort comes in many, many different forms, okay? Let's talk about a few of them. Number one, social media scrolling, okay? This is just basically comfort. Sometimes it may not feel comfortable because the algorithms will also post a lot of stuff that makes you angry, okay? Now your feed might be full of things that make you angry. Oh, look at all these people over here, look at what they're doing, they're idiots, my guys are awesome, these guys over here are idiots, whatever. It kind of riles you up, it makes you angry. But it's still a sort of a comfort. It's still a form of comfort, right? Because it's familiar, okay? It might feel vexatious, but it's familiar, okay? And so you sit there and you scroll and you get angry and maybe you start, having arguments with people online and all of that, and you think, yeah, I really owned that guy. Awesome, I really owned that buffoon. But you haven't actually achieved anything in the real world. All you've done is had an argument with some person that you don't know and you're probably never going to meet, whatever, right? That is a form of comfort. What are other forms of comfort? I saw a meme on Instagram recently saying that Gen Z is becoming addicted to bed rotting, all right? Not bed wetting, but bed rotting. What is bed rotting? Well, it's laying in bed, scrolling social media, laying in bed, scrolling Instagram or whatever other platforms you're on, okay? That is comfort to the nth degree, because not only are you engaging in that social media, but you're also laying in bed while you're doing it, right? So you're not even getting up and physically interacting with the world. But there's a myriad of other things. Food, right? Highly processed, high sugar foods, great form of comfort, okay? Relationships that no longer fit you, okay? I have clients who come to me and they say they want to improve their dating lives, but then when you talk to them, it turns out, well, actually, I kind of am seeing this person. And you say, okay, fine, so what's the problem then? And he said, well, I'm seeing this woman, but I don't really like her. I'm not really feeling it, but it's giving me some affection. It's giving me a bit of an outlet, whatever. And the brutal, honest answer in that situation is that the guy should leave that relationship. The guy should stop engaging with that particular woman, not out of some cruelty or anything like that, but just because, if you got to the point in your life where you're actually calling a dating coach because you're not that happy in the relationship you're in, you shouldn't be in that relationship. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? But this is how people behave, because it's about comfort, right? We want the snuggles, we want the cuddles, we want the affection, even if it's not somebody we're that bothered about, even if it's not somebody we really care about, which is absurd when you think about it. But this is how human beings operate, men and women, by the way. This isn't just a male thing. What else? Video games, right? Video games are the one vice that I deliberately avoided throughout my entire life, because I've never had a console, I've never picked up a video game, never played any of the classic games. The reason for that is because I know I have a hugely addictive personality, okay, and if I got into video games, I would probably just sit in my bedroom playing video games for all of my life. And maybe that would have been a better career choice, because people like Destiny made a hell of a lot of money from it, and I didn't. But anyway, that's the thing. So video games are another thing. TV, okay, or do we even call it TV anymore? I don't know. The streaming platforms, Netflix, okay? Now, I like a bit of Netflix as much as anybody else. I also like a bit of reality TV sometimes. But again, this is a comfort trap, right? I mean, I feel sometimes I will allow myself some reality TV or some Netflix or whatever as a kind of a reward. You know, it's sort of like, okay, I've done a good day's work. I'm just going to veg out and I'm going to watch this reality TV show or whatever, which I think is okay. I don't beat myself up hugely about that. But again, it is falling into comfort, right? Is that really the best use of my time? Okay, we can get into my personal timeline on another video if you're interested. But I mean, I do try to ensure that I produce, like with this, I produce more content that I consume, and I also read books and so on and so forth, so I do try to balance it out. But a lot of people don't, right? A lot of people just spend hours and hours either scrolling on their phones or watching TV shows, watching Netflix, okay? Comfort, okay? It's all comfort because it doesn't really challenge us. And even the stuff that does seemingly comfort us, like having arguments with people online, is not genuine. It's the sort of simulacrum of conflict, right? It's conflict that will never go anywhere, it will never mean anything, it will never signify anything, complete waste of time. And it's another form of comfort because it's familiarity, okay? What else is there? Watching sports, watching movies, you could say, although I wouldn't completely disavow them, but that's, there's so much multimedia, there's so much entertainment out there. We talked about sugary foods, I think. We talked about processed foods, okay? Dating the wrong people. All of this stuff is comfort seeking, okay? And then there's comfort within the larger meta frame of our lives as well, right? Living in a place that is not very good for you, but you're comfortable there. You know people. You know the guys down at the local bar. Your friends from college are there. You've lived there all your life, okay? It's a dead-end town. There are no dating prospects. There are no career prospects as such, but you stay because, well, it's comfortable, okay? Now, I'm not making the argument that you should excise all comfort from your life. I'm not one of those people who would recommend some kind of brutally stoic lifestyle where everything you do is painful. Everything that you do is hard and makes you unhappy. I think there is room for some softness and some comfort in life, and I think we should enjoy the pleasures of life. I mean, David Goggins, a wonderfully charismatic, wonderfully inspiring human being, but would you actually want to be him? Would you actually want to be the guy who gets up and does 4,000 pull-ups or whatever, right? I mean, probably not really. It doesn't sound like very much fun. Or runs, multiple ultra marathons with a broken leg or whatever he did. I mean, you don't have to take it that too far, but you do need to get out of the comfort trap, because the comfort trap is holding you back, okay? It's holding you back in various ways. Firstly, it's holding you back in terms of your time, because time is your most valuable asset, okay? We can get money back, we can get possessions back. I know people who have made multiple millions and then lost all of it and lost their houses and blah, blah, blah. And then they built it up again over time, okay? That can happen, right? Life is not always linear. There's an up and down journey. But the one thing that you can't get back is your time, because you are a certain age, you only have a finite amount of time on this planet, you are dying 1 second at a time, and that time is never going to come back. Now, the more of that time that's put into comfort, the more of that time is lost forever, okay? Memento mori, so there's that. But also, comfort tends to soften us, all right? The ultimate masculine is the guy who is a hunter, who's out there at the front, leading from the front, going out there, making things happen, making his life into something mythical, okay? Comfort is the absolute antithesis of that. Homer's Odyssey, for God's sake. Can you imagine the beginning of that? If he said, oh, you know what, I'm not going to go on this amazing voyage, I'm just going to sit at home and watch Netflix. it wouldn't have remained a classic for thousands of years in human literature, okay? The masculine energy thrives on going out there, doing things, and making it happen, okay? We talked before about reinvention. It's about self-reinvention, but it's also about reinventing the world in our own image, okay? It's about creating a world for ourselves that we actually want to inhabit. And these little things, these comfort things in themselves, they might seem like innocuous, right? You know, yeah, so what? I watch a bit of Netflix, who cares? And that's true, up to a point. But the problem is that too much of it, and it's a snare, okay? Too much of it is a snare, and you're just going to get left, you know, you're going to get to a certain age, and you're going to look back on life and think, damn, I certainly watched a lot of TV, but I didn't do a hell of a lot else, okay? I never got myself out of that job that I hated. I never got myself out of that substandard relationship, okay? Until she divorced me and took a load of money away. I never got out of that substandard friend group, okay? Those guys who were putting me down, and, you know, I felt I was always at the bottom of the hierarchy, never got out of that, okay? All of this stuff is about comfort, and we need to cleanse ourselves of the need for comfort. We need to steel ourselves first, and then cleanse ourselves of that need for comfort, because it is killing us and it's holding us back from our true potential. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do subscribe, write a comment. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.